Hello, this is Mr. Adetta, and I wanted to share today's assignment with you. So in Schoology for Thursday, you'll find it right here. You click on this link, it'll open this document, and it'll open it here, and it'll give you the assignment for today. Now, depending on which version you received, it's either going to have 1 page or 2 pages. So whichever version you receive, that's just what you're going to complete. So don't worry about if you got one that's different from somebody else. So when you click on this link here, it'll take you to this link here. Actually, let me do that again so I can show you what it actually looks like. So it looks like that. So you have two options here. You're going to be using this side, the introduction. If you want to go back later and play the game, that's fine for practice. In fact, that's probably a good idea if you're still trying to figure out how to count atoms. But for the introduction, you're going to use this side, and you're going to answer these questions right here. Okay, it's gonna ask you various questions related to this module. So you're just going to work the module, answer the questions as you go. Right here in the center, it's going to be asking you to count atoms like we've been doing. Okay. So this one here, as it's asking you to count atoms, so on this one it's having you count atoms, on this one it's having you count molecules. So something I wanted to address that I was noticing as you guys were completing the assignment over the past couple of days. So when you're looking at coefficients and subscripts, you have to look at both of them to accurately count the atoms. So you have to make sure that you're looking at both. So one way I suggest doing is if you have a coefficient of 2 or whatever your coefficient is, it might be easier if you just rewrite this compound. So what I mean is this coefficient 2 means that there's actually 2 of this compound. So in order to see that, maybe do this, and you can rewrite the compound on top of it like that. So now that way you have 2 compounds because the coefficient says there has to be 2 of them. So now that you can actually see 2 of them, now it's easier to count the atoms because you have 2 Fe here, 2 Fe there, which makes a total of 4. You have O3 here, O3 here. 3 plus 3 gives you 6. Okay. Alternatively, you can also multiply. So you can take the coefficient and just multiply it by the subscript that's there. So 2 times 2 gives you 4 Fe. And then 2 times 3 gives you 6 oxygen. Now remember too that this coefficient is only for the compound that it's next to. So you would not use this 2, for example, on this compound way over here. Because specifically this compound or this element here has its own coefficient. So to do this one, remember there is no subscript, so you would assume 1, and then this would just be 3 times 1, which gives you 3. Okay, so like that. So you can multiply the coefficients by the subscripts. So again, here again you have no subscript, so you assume that there's 1, and then this would be 4 times 1, which gives you 4. Okay, so a little bit of math that'll still get you to the answer. Now, some of you will receive an assignment that actually contains the bonus. If you didn't receive the bonus and you want to attempt the bonus, feel free to shoot me a message and I can send it to you. But the way this bonus works is you'll notice that there are no coefficients for any of these formulas. So what you're tasked to do in this is you have to add the correct coefficients and then count the atoms to determine if you've effectively balanced this equation. So remember, you'll know if it's balanced if you have the same amount of atoms here as you do on this side. But you won't know until you actually do the math. So use that coefficient, figure out how many atoms you have of each on each side. And then if you come up with the same amount of sodium on this side and sodium on this side, nitrogen on this side, nitrogen on that side, oxygen on this side, oxygen on that side, and lead on this side and lead on that side. If the values are both the same on both sides, then you balanced it. Now keep in mind this is an advanced technique. This is something you will be responsible for in high school, but I figured I'd give you a little bit of it to see if you could attempt it. Not all students can, but some can kind of wrap their heads around this. If you absolutely cannot, it's not a big deal. Like I said, they'll walk you through this when you get to high school, but I wanted to give this to you guys to see if maybe you can attempt it. Other than that, if you have any questions, as usual, just reach out. Thanks.